everyone. This is A Word at the Table. It's Gurjan, aka Gigi.
Victoria.
Mika.
Neskin.
And Jasmine.
And we have Jasmine on the phone.
It's okay.
Our topic is Good Word Matters from
Gurjan. I'll be hosting today. Okay, so... Alright, so basically, the name A Word at the Table really kind of reflects how it's important for us to discuss the word with each other and to discuss what it means to us and also how to incorporate it within our lives. And this idea had came to us because of our prayer line, and we knew that we wanted another platform to actually just address some concerns or just to talk, or if you had any questions, just to discuss everything. So we wanted to do this podcast. And so typically we do bag of questions or a movie review or a music review, and today we'll just do bag of questions. So I'll do the first question. I don't have the bag.
Jomo.
Bag of questions. I'll do the first question. I literally have a bag of questions.
Okay.
Okay.
As you can see, she has a bag full of questions.
What's a podcast? Nobody could see it.
As you can imagine.
So my question is, if you were sent to a deserted island and you can only choose one person to go with you, who would it be?
Jesus.
Yeah, I guess bringing Jesus with me all the
Everywhere,
time.
so you want to bring him. It's like bringing air.
Right. I don't know if I would think. I can't think of anyone specific, but someone that would have skills to get me.
Oh my God! Right? Yeah. Like I'm not doing this for company. I'm doing.
I'm
this for
trying to
myself.
survive. So someone who has good survival skills. I think that's who I would.
My friend Jessica, she camps.
Oh, Jessica.
So, yeah.
Oh yeah, I met Jessica.
Yeah.
What about you, Mikael?
I don't know if I would want to take anyone with me. I think like if I were stuck on an island, I would want to like venture on the island and just discover the people on the island.
They said
But is it
you were
deserted?
sent.
Oh, deserted
Yeah.
island. If I was sent to an island, I don't know. There's nobody that I would want to be stuck with in a deserted island. I think I would just probably... I mean, I haven't thought this through, but right now, I think I would just be by myself.
Okay.
Not fun.
Yeah, and just
Fine.
I could have a books, like a library, a computer.
No, there's no Wi-Fi though, so the
no,
computer
it's
would be
fine.
just there for sure.
They said choose one person, not.
I really don't know, like
These
a
questions came off the
person.
line, so I don't know.
I think I could deal with anyone, like even if it was just the most annoying, like just company. I can't pick just one person because there's so many people in my life that I care about. I couldn't pick just one.
Definitely
Yeah.
an adult, because like imagine if you had to be on a deserted island with a child
And you have to take care of
Yeah, and they're like, so
Yeah.
when you gonna get some food? Cause we
Yeah.
I just need someone.
Yeah,
to
just a
Yeah.
person. Like, I wouldn't. I guess I wouldn't
Not
want to
just
be
a
alone.
person,
Yeah.
someone that's strong.
yeah, who can help you survive, and you don't have to take care of them.
Preferably not on a wheelchair. But
Word.
Yeah.
no offense to people on wheelchairs, but
Fair. Yeah.
What about you, Jessica? We forgot about her.
Oh, I think. Should talk on the next question.
you didn't answer.
I did. I said someone
Okay.
was strong.
Did you read this? Mentally. Okay, never mind. What do you like most about the opposite sex mentally?
What kind of question?
No, my thumb was right here, and I was like,
No, I actually did not read that.
did you like that?
Yeah.
What do I like most about boys mentally?
Boys, why is it boys?
It's
You
the
can say
opposite
men.
sex.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. She said boys.
All men are boys.
Boys call us girls all the time, literally.
Yeah.
But I I think, okay, this is gonna sound so stupid, but I think it's like the boys' ability to not care what they look like. Like, they'll be ugly and silly, and like it's endearing and it's funny and stuff like that. Like, they'll be like silly, and if girls are like ugly and silly, people are like, what's wrong with you? Calm down. Like, calm down, you know? Like, that's and behooving of a lady.
Yeah.
You know? But like, that's what I admire. The fact that they can literally be themselves. They can be gross if they want to. They can be like vulgar if they want to, and no one bats an eye. You know? They can be self-deprecating if they want to, like, and no one thinks of it as low self-esteem. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, I'm a fat guy," and they're like, "Oh." But if a girl said that, they'd be like, "Amy, we need to talk. Why are you saying these things about yourself?" You know, like they have like free reign to do almost anything.
Yeah, agreed.
Go before me, Gigi, because I'm still thinking mentally.
I just agree. I do agree, not disagree. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess men and women think so differently in certain aspects. Like, I feel like I can watch a movie and like a guy will watch a movie and they'll see something completely different. So their perspectives are just different. So I just appreciate the different perspective. I'll say that.
Yeah. I would say I dislike
Their perspective.
I feel like men don't think. They don't. They miss a lot.
Or they make no offense, because like men have a tendency to make everything about them. It's like if they're watching a movie that's about like women empowerment or something. Oh, this is a chick flick, so it has nothing to do with me. Like, I watch men movie all the time. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, things have to be about them, and if it's not about them, this is not for me. You know,
You guys need to get new male friends. Like, I go. I go lose it. I love Eddie's perception.
But most men are like that. Like, most men are just like, oh, this is not for me.
I think, can I say something?
Yeah.
No,
Okay. I think for me, I mean, this is not all men, but definitely something that I appreciate in the male species is their authority when they speak. Well, some of them. Like, not saying that girls don't have this or possess this, but there's something about when a man speaks and when he knows what he's saying, and like the wisdom that comes from him. I don't know, it's just like, it kind of like is authoritative in a way where like everyone has to stop and listen, like, what they're saying. So that's something that I really like. I mean, all men don't possess that, but some people do, and I think that's what I like.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, sometimes like their tone, or like, I don't know, the bass in their voice, it's like you'll stop and be like, what? Like, huh? Like,
right, and just what they're saying, like, I think you were saying, like, men and women, they think differently. Right. So just to hear, like, a different perspective, like, oh, okay, I really never thought about it that way, like, I like hearing their perspective in different situations. So, yeah.
I mean,
that's good.
And with what you said, Jasmine, it brought to mind, I think for me, I like this is not really mentally, but for me, like, something that attracts me to a man is someone who knows himself. Like, if you're sure of yourself.
That's regardless of sex. Yeah,
that's like the most attractive thing.
Yeah.
Your turn, Neskin. No,
the question.
You have to answer the question.
Yeah, I mean, what I like most about a woman, not a girl. Mentally, Vicky. I mean,
I think about cooking.
I think women tend to be more focused than men. So you will find like a man will probably like strong. I mean, business minded, but a woman will be more focused in terms of like they want to go into detail and stuff, and like they want to know everything.
We're more prepared. Like, that's like that's why women like to walk around with literally everything in their purse, and then they'll just be like, like themselves.
So it's kind of like in like every way you mind, like they kind of more prepared, like more focused and
more detail oriented.
So all that.
Women are more prone to make lists.
I make lists.
Oh, I love making lists.
Before I go to sleep, usually. I make
Yeah.
Me, I'm more global. Mikael is more detail oriented.
Yeah.
When we go on a trip, I don't plan nothing. She cannot be doing anything.
They give you a flight plan. You're like, what is this?
Yeah,
I don't
you
need
usually don't
this.
even know what
I just
Where
go
we're
with.
going.
what
I
country.
just go with the flow.
Number 8. Well, my question: what attracted you to God? I like this question.
Ooh.
I mean, I feel like I'm starting to get to know God on a different level, and I'm falling in love with God. I think for me, what is attracting me to Him is
She's
just
falling in love.
His ability to forgive everything. Like, because to me, that's just not something that I can fathom. And it's just like the way that He loves us is just like I can't, like, you can't even consume that in a word or a sentence or in a book. Like, it's profound. Yeah.
I feel like this was a really hard question because
Yeah, same here, Gigi. I
Right?
think that was you speaking, but I would definitely say it's his like unconditional love that kind of like attracted me to him because you know, like I kind of grew up in church like
Yeah.
all my life, but like it wasn't until recently, like I guess when I had to make my own decisions and I messed up and all that stuff. Where I'm like, wow, like God will still continue to chase after you, like no matter what, So that's what kind of like really attracts me. I'm like, okay, like His love is for real. It's not something that you just see in the Bible, but like once you experience it, it's something completely different.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, because, like, okay, I think all of us grew up in the church order, right? So, like, there was no, like, I don't remember, like, being introduced to God. Like, no one came up to me with the Bible, like, oh,
Right.
So it was, like, there was never that point. Like, He was always there or whatever. But what different between me and some of my friends that grew up in the church and, like, they just don't go to church anymore, I think is because, like, in middle school, and I guess even to this day, like, in middle school, I used to deal with so much anxiety, like a disgusting amount of anxiety. And, like, just to know that I serve a God that has a plan for me, that kind of calms me in a way, like to know that, like, the worry, like, there's this verse in the Bible that I actually forgot where it's in, but I know it's in the New Testament, but it's just like, why do you worry when God he clothes the grass with the flowers, He feeds the birds, don't you think you're more important than all these things that He takes care of and stuff like that? I'm just like, oh, you're right, okay. So so that kind of like made me fall in love with Him a little bit, like the fact that He is taking care of me, that I don't have to like, there's just one aspect, Meskin. There's just like the fact that He is a provider, I don't have to like sit there and worry and like, yeah. So I guess that's my answer.
Okay, cool. So we're gonna go into sorry, Nessie, I forgot about you.
She always calling me out.
Sorry, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So the question is, what attracted me to God?
Yes, go ahead.
Do you need a mic?
Why do you have a pregnant pause?
Go ahead.
No, but for real though, that's a very good question, and I think I would say life in general, like, if you live in, like, you experience like different things, and there's some experiences that kind of make you stop, like, to think about, like, the should be God. Because if God, like, didn't exist, like, you would probably see, like, how could you kind of, like, there's so many things you can think of, like, you come into life, like, how that, like having a life inside and somebody else, like, so it's like there's so many things that it just have you to think and say, and then just to see, like, God, like, wisdom, like, He's growing, like, I don't know, it just I think that being, like, it's to be able not to define God because God is too mysterious. God is too great, too awesome. So you don't know like what you can, like you can find words to describe him. And I think that's what attract me, like to God. Like it's just like love. You can describe love. It's just you just love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, don't you hate it when, like, if you're dating somebody and you guys got to that love part and they're like, why do you love me? And you're
Yeah.
like, oh.
I feel like that's a question you
do.
need to be able to answer, though.
Should you?
It's hard
Yeah.
to put in words sometimes.
Yeah, it's just like a feeling, you know?
No, but I think you should. Actually, I asked Neskin this question,
And this guy was like, eh.
and he was like, "If I have a reason to love you, then I'll have a reason not to love you."
Good answer. Good answer. Where'd you read
That was
that?
the best answer, but I always thought that like you should have a reason to, like, why?
I think it's like something that attracts you. Like,
I don't know.
like, I don't know. I think it's just like if you're called, you know, like with people and like with your with God and stuff like that, because like there could be two people both growing up in church, almost the same experiences and stuff. One person decides to keep with their walk and the other person's just like flailing, you know, like, so how did you miss that, you know? So I feel like it's kind of like you don't know why you have this attraction. You're like, this
That's
is
true.
yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Right. I guess. Well.
Okay, so
You didn't answer the question.
I agree with everybody. So
But it should be personal.
I mean, let's jump into the topic. I need to have dinner. Oh, sorry.
okay,
Word at the table.
Okay, so at this time we're going to get into the topic. So the topic is good word
Good word
matters.
matters.
And so there's many texts that stress the importance of being spiritually fed. It actually says in the Bible that it's more important to be spiritually fed than actually eating,
Like
be
bread?
feeding yourself.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to read some biblical verses about receiving the word of God. In 1 Peter 2, verse 2. Like newborn babies, long for the pure milk of the word, so that by the word you may grow in respect to salvation. In Isaiah 55, verse 2, why do you spend money for what is not bread, and your wages for what does not satisfy? Listen carefully to me, and eat what is good, and delight yourself in abundance. And in Revelations 2, verse 7, he who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the churches. To him who overcomes, I will grant to eat of the tree of life, which is in the paradise of God. So, with that being said, I just want to have an open discussion. What does the word do for you? What would you say it does for you when you receive the word or hear the word of God?
It gives me a more understanding of who God is, and it also, like, I don't know if this is like a vain reason, but it also gives me like a reason to not educate, but like, you know, when you talk to people and they're like, oh, you know, religion is stupid, Christianity is stupid because this, that, and the third, or whatever, right? So like, the more I know the Bible, the more I can combat.
Back it up.
Right, you know, because like I've been in so many situations where they're like, oh, but this, that, and the third, and I'm sitting there like, I guess you're right. I don't know. Like, I really have nothing to say to that. Right? And like, the more I know the word, the more I can, like, you know, have
The clap back is
thank you, yeah, you know, his spiritual clapback, yeah. So
No, what's the question? I'm sorry.
What does the word do for you, or what does it mean?
Oh.
To you, I guess, whatever.
I mean, I think for me, like, every time recently, not every time, but recently when I've been reading, like, whatever passage I read, I see how it applies to my life. So it's sort of like, because before, I grew up in the church. I don't remember a time where I was not in church, but I didn't always have a relationship with God. But I feel like now when I seek God, like, on my own, like, every time I read the word, I see how it's applicable to my life. So.
I'm not gonna cut you off. Go ahead. That's
Yeah, so I would say the word, like basically the word, like change you or change me and help you to see the world in a different like perspective. So like as opposed to, and I think that's the kind of transformation that God is expecting from us when we read the word, or when we listen, like when we hear the word, and He kind of expect that transformation from us, because the word itself, like it's just pure ignorant hatred and all that, and listen to a word that's bringing peace, talking about love, talking about forgiveness, like
supposed to transform.
yeah. So it's like it kind of late, like I think the word uplift,
Uplifted?
yeah, you, and then to kind of see like okay, see the world as it is, and see how the word transform you, and how you need to pass down those type of message to others to help them to be in the level that you are. So I think that's what like the word do for me, because sometimes people might be going through like situation, to rough time in life, and they just need someone to just give them some word of wisdom, and being able to have those type of word to kind of to communicate to that person, then that mean a lot.
Jasmine, you have any thoughts?
I agree with everything that you guys are saying. You know, I think it's just a reminder of who God is, and like he was saying, you know, like kind of with what you're going through in life, it, I don't know, gives you like a new perspective or a new way to look at things that you wouldn't see before. Especially when you read like, you know, the different stories in there. It's like, all right, you can kind of relate it to what you're going through, and it just, I don't know, gives you a new perspective.
Right.
So yeah, I think it's good.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think I read the word and find peace at times when I'm going through something. So it definitely helps me through like rough times. So what are different ways that you all get the word? Well, what are different ways you get the word?
Service.
Church service? Okay. Like number one. Yeah.
Reading the Bible. I mean, I've started since last time I was here. I started like journaling, and I feel like I like when I pray out loud, which is the way that I feel most comfortable praying. Like in my own quiet space, I have to pray out loud, because if I'm just praying in my heart or in my thoughts, I'll fall asleep. So for me to stay engaged, I have to pray out loud. But now, like when I start writing, and like after I pray, I sit there and I reflect, and I feel like that's a way that like God speaks to me. So yeah, yeah.
I feel like my prayers are way more detailed when I write them down. Like I go in. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely having a journal is definitely helpful. So, do you guys need any apps or anything like that?
Did you say, do we have any gaps?
Apps.
Oh yeah, I use Abide. It's a meditation app. So I use that, and I of course use the Bible app. They have different plans. I do the plans on the Bible app. Right now I'm doing a plan called Simple Pursuit. It's about pursuing God.
Simply.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A heart after Jesus.
Yes, that's good.
Yeah. So, I mean, what you basically mean when you said what are different ways? Is it like we're talking about Bible? We're talking about online, or
how
like,
do you personally get the word?
I mean, I would say sometime through testimony. So I think when someone like testifying, and like it's not just reading like it's not just reading the Bible, but you actually like you're hearing from somebody's mouth like what they're going through. So you see action, and also how the word of God, like how God kinda create a way for that, like to deliver that person. And I think that's very powerful. And I think even the Bible like has a lot of testimony. Like even Jesus, when he was preaching, like he had to do some miracle for them to see, like it's not just word, but there was action being implied with it. And I think like when you're having a testimony, so it's kind of like a mixture of both, and like that kind of like I think that like catch my attention, and yeah.
Yeah, you see the works of God. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And so, is there any particular text that speaks to you during in hard times that you just go to or refer to? I usually go to Psalm 91 and Psalm 23 too. Any particular text that speaks to you?
Oh yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I think like it's depend on the situation, and that's why like it's good to know the word of God, because different situation you will need like you will need different, and like Christian call it a weapon, like to yeah. So it's like in times like, so let's say in times of like danger, you know, like there's a verse in the Bible said. I mean, I only know it like in Creole and French. I mean, I don't know.
Speak your truth.
Go ahead.
So
We'll translate.
yeah, so it said non, l'ange de l'Éternel campe autour de ceux qui les créent, il les arrache au danger.
Yeah. The angel of the Lord.
Les malins attendent souvent le juste, mais l'Éternel en délivre toujours. So,
I didn't catch any of that.
oh, you don't know that?
L'ange de l'Éternel campe autour de ceux qui le craignent. So the angel of the Lord stands amongst those who fear him, and he
Protect them.
protects them from danger.
Yeah.
Where's this from?
I believe it's from Psalm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like different. Yeah, so it's like what, like, and yeah, there's some like if you're hungry, you know God provide. No, for real, they're all in the Bible. You just have to believe. You just say.
My verse, I don't know where it's from. I know it's from Psalms, but it's God is within her; she will not fail. That's like my the fact that it's a her. I'm just like, but yeah, I love that.
I just found it because I couldn't remember, but the one that I stand on, or that I guess maybe recently, it's Jeremiah 29. It's for I know the plans I have for you.
Yeah.
Plans to prosper,
I
not
love
to
that one
harm
too.
you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Then you will call on me and come pray to me, and I will listen to you. You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. I will be found by you. So that's a verse that I find myself going to or praying on often. And something that maybe this is a little bit off topic, but I think it's important for us to read the Word of God, because it's good to pray the Word of God back to Him. Like His promises to you should be in your prayers, because this is like the Bible is a blueprint. The Word is a blueprint for what we're supposed to have. Like the promises of God are real if we apply them to our lives and make it like personal to you. Yeah.
It's kind of okay. Tell me if I'm reaching, but it's just kind of sweet. Like if you're talking to somebody and they recollect to like, oh, I remember when you said da da da, and you're just like, oh, you actually paid attention. Look at you, you know, like.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Okay, so I'm just gonna recap basically what we spoke about. Oh, Jasmine, did you want to chime in? Sorry.
No, it's fine. I don't really have a verse in particular, but someone was talking about Jeremiah 29:11. That's something that I refer to. And then Romans 8, I forgot what verse, but when it says, we know that all things work together for the good, for those that love Him. Yeah, so that's a verse that I kind of refer back to.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Because we all have those, times where we're just like, I don't understand it, but it does make sense in retrospect.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Yep.
Okay, so just gonna recap our topic today. So we talked about receiving the Word of God and that it really transforms your life and it makes you a better person. And it's important for us to receive the Word in our everyday lives, just to speak it into our lives. and also correlate to what we're going through. And I'm just going to quote T.D. Jakes. He said, the word can fix things that you didn't even let anyone know was broken. The word compensates for things you didn't get. The word will raise, train, and nurture you. So, and just some things to think about. Just think about how you can incorporate the Word of God in your life and make it a routine. So that wraps up our podcast. This is Heard at the Table.